I don't mean to posture like I am some sort of professional artist or creative or anything like that. But I am somebody who is confident enough to call himself a creative. I have an identity as a creative. And so I wanted to make this video to kind of share 3 habits that I built that made me confident to call myself a creative and kind of revolutionized my journey as a creative. The first one is probably the hardest. It is discipline. Discipline is easily one of the hardest things to build as an artist. Being able to sit down consistently to do your craft is going to be one of the biggest challenges you face. It's going to be something that is going to be a reoccurring problem for you, probably throughout your entire career. Something that I have heard even artists like Stephen King talk about is struggling with motivation, usually following the breaking of habits or changes in life circumstances or anything like that. God forbid you work a full-time job and are trying to be a creative on social media or otherwise. I think that building discipline is a thin line to toe because you want to hold yourself accountable and you want to build yourself up to be confident and to actually do the art that you're setting out to do. But honest to God, you should never beat yourself up because that's just going to hurt yourself in the long run and the short run, really. I find that creatives usually fall into 1 or 2 categories when it comes to discipline. You either have the people who don't discipline themselves and kind of become like the eternal procrastinators of art, where they do art, but occasionally they kind of just like push it off and then they don't really do it, usually because of burnout or life circumstances or otherwise. It's totally understandable. I understand why somebody might not be able to discipline themselves. Heaven forbid you have ADHD or OCD or anything that might prevent you from actually engaging in your art form. Then the second category is the people who discipline themselves too much. They go crazy with it. They beat themselves up. Now, there's sort of like an argument to be made about the tortured artist, somebody who kind of pushes themselves to the point that they become crazy about whatever they want to do, and they end up making something amazing. Those people exist, and you can kind of beat yourself up until you start to do it. That's a valid strategy. I don't think it's a healthy strategy, but it's a valid strategy. And being able to sort of do that and then actually follow up on it is kind of the key. Being able to beat yourself up and then go and do the thing you set out to do, that's cool. But a lot of artists I know just beat themselves up and then they never even do the thing that they wanted to. So that's not discipline. Beating yourself up isn't discipline. That's just self-deprecation. And in the same way, talking about the first example I gave, the person who procrastinates and never engages with their art, that's the kind of person who can also be successful in their own ways. Some people don't need discipline. Some people kind of just ebb and flow and engage in their art form very free-formly. But those people are rare, and chances are it's not you, and I know it's not me. I am somebody who has disciplined himself by developing a strategy. Really, that's the best piece of advice for this part. Develop a strategy. Don't just ebb and flow kind of loosely and procrastinate, and don't beat yourself up until you hate yourself and then you're just sad. The second habit you need to build is aversion. Aversion is a very, very powerful thing. And what I'm talking about whenever I mention aversion is the aversion to making something, the aversion to criticism, the aversion to showing people things, the aversion to doing the thing you want to do. Aversion comes in a lot of forms, but it's all sort of like a similar underlying pathology, which is harm negation. Basically, if you are averse to showing people things, or you are averse to making something that might be unpopular, or you're averse to posting something, these are all things that are very rational and reasonable to struggle with as an artist, as a creative. But they are things that you kind of need to be able to take in stride. This video isn't here to give you exact strategies. I'm just trying to highlight that these are the things that I personally struggled with and have noticed artists struggle with heavily. If you find that you are averse to showing people your art, The reason why is probably because you are ashamed of it, and because there's some level of self-deprecation there. You are scared of what they might think. You are scared that they might not like it. There is no easy way to put this. They probably won't. And that's okay. You have to be comfortable with the idea that you are a bunk artist. That's the scariest part about being a creative. The scariest part about being a creative is putting everything about yourself down onto paper, into a song, into an art piece, whatever it might be. You are putting your soul onto the paper. And I am not trying to be hyperbolic here. Whenever you indulge in art that is worthwhile, you are inherently putting a part of yourself into the art piece. That's why it's so hard to take criticism about art, because it's part of you, but you have to get over it. You have to be ready for people to shit on you. You've got to be ready for people to see the most vulnerable, difficult parts of yourself and hate it, maybe even justifiably. And you just have to accept that. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just nature of the beast, really. The third thing is more of a skill that needs to be cultivated rather than just a habit, and that is discernment. This is something I've noticed in writing specifically, but also art, is knowing when your art is good, or knowing when art is good. Now, I know that this feels very contradictory to the last point about not being scared about what people are going to think and other such things, but you kind of need to do both at the same time. Being an artist is not easy. It's not easy. Contrary to what you have been led to believe, being a creative, being an artist is a very, very profoundly difficult task. It's just not a difficulty that's easy to describe. You need to be able to simultaneously know when your art is good and when an idea is worth pursuing and when a criticism is valid, and you also need to be able to take criticisms in stride and even personal attacks in stride. You need to be able to kind of do the paradoxical task of being punched in the face repeatedly by somebody who is just taking your art and just ripping it apart. The most sensitive, important parts of yourself, and they are just fucking shitting on it. It's not going to be comfortable. And you also need to be able to know that is going to happen, very likely, and then also still put it out. And that's kind of a level of bravery that is hard to have, admittedly. I've lacked it at times in my life. And I think it's not something I would shame anybody for not having. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, what is social media if not a shield we build around ourselves? I feel like to be an integral artist, an artist with integrity, with soul, with important things to say, with teeth, you have to be comfortable with that discomfort. You have to accept it as a part of the trade. And that's gonna suck. It's just going to suck. Anyways, I plan on doing more rant videos like this more often. Going to be kind of free-flowing, free structure, just going to be talking about whatever I want. I'm not taking this too seriously, if I'm being honest with you. This is kind of just, I have a lot in my head, and because I work a blue-collar job, I'm kind of just walking around all day without anybody to talk to this about. So that's why it's going to go here. So if you liked, like it, subscribe, dislike. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe.